take it. Got it! Boston wins!
Two legends in basketball analysis with over 70 years combined experience. This is the Bob Ryan and Jeff Goodman podcast.
NBA, some college, a little bit of everything.
It is time for the Bob Ryan, Gary Tanguay podcast here on CLNS Media and the CLNS Media Network. Show is brought to you by Prizepicks, North America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Download today. Use code CLNS to get $50 when you play 5. Prizepicks. Run your game. Bob Ryan, I gave the professor an assignment this time around. I said, who is the one person responsible for the success of the NBA?
Well, I'm going to break this down a bit, but I'll give you an answer in the end, but I'm just going to have the little history to come. The league was founded in 1946. How much the world was really asking for it, I don't know. But there was a professional basketball league in the Midwest, and there had been sporadic attempts, but then the war messed a lot of things up, naturally, in World War II. So, but it comes into being in 46, 47, and the NBA, it was founded by arena owners who were mostly hockey owners and wanted to find something to put in the buildings when they weren't playing hockey games, or staging boxing matches. Okay, and the Celtics, Walter Brown was Exhibit A. They owned the Bruins, and they had space to put in a basketball team. Now, although they split time with the arena in Boston, the first game was actually played in the Boston Arena, the Matthews Arena today. It's still there. Same structure is still there. Although it's got a shortened shelf life now, but that's another story. Okay.
Yeah, at Northeastern, Matthews Arena at Northeastern.
Right. So, okay. They don't captivate the American audience. There's one dominant team, the Minneapolis Lakers, who won the championships when they moved over from the National Basketball League in 1949. The league stumbled out of the gate. In 1949, they went crazy and they merged with the National Basketball League into a 17-team league, including the likes of Sheboygan. I'm serious.
I know you are.
And that lasted 1 year. They shook it out and pared it down. And by 1951 or so, the NBA was down to 8 teams. Okay. It's not a big deal. Baseball is totally dominant. Football the NFL was about on the same level as the NBA. College football mattered far more to the American public than the NFL at that time. And the NHL was always a regional, there were only 4 cities in America, the original 6, 4 in America, 2 in Canada. So it had no bearing west of Chicago and no bearing south of New York City, so that didn't matter. Okay. But there were 2 things happening. The Minneapolis Lakers were winning, and their star player George Mikan was getting a lot of attention, and Bob Cousy here captivated the basketball public. And if you stop the average American sports fan on the street in the mid 50s and said, just name me a basketball player, the majority would have said Bob Cousy. A somewhat minority would have said George Mikan. No one else would have. So those 2 guys.
Can I ask you something? If Mikan had played in Boston and Cousy had played in Minneapolis, would it have been different?
Cousy's game was more attractive to the average fan because was no league man. So more people could vision themselves being Bob Cousy than they could vision themselves being George Mikan, a fan.
Right.
So I don't know. I think Cousy would have attracted attention, but and Boston wasn't a basketball town; it was a hockey town. Just remember that when the NBA came into being in 1946, the Boston school system had not had basketball being played for over 20 years. It was in the suburbs. The Tech tournament, for those of you who are Boston area listeners, remember the Tech tourney. That was important, and in the New England tournament was important, but pro basketball wasn't. Anyway, okay. The next milestone. So Cousy and Mikan got basketball attention to give it to people. The most Red, please forgive me. I'll try to be specific with this. Thank you. The most important team that has ever played in this league in terms of the advancement of it into the American public were the 1969-70 Knicks. They created attention that had never been focused on the National
Well,
Basketball
New York
Association,
City.
even after 11 Celtic championships in the previous 13 years, because it's the center of advertising and entertainment. And the Knicks were a wonderfully entertaining team. They really were. They moved the ball. They did things. They were wonderfully entertaining. And Frazier, who became a folk hero, and Willis Reed had a year. He was MVP of the All-Star game, the finals, and the league. Had his greatest year. They focused attention on the league, and ushered them into the 70s. But the attention had never been focused like that. They have to get credit for that. The next thing is, and everybody wants to go Magic and Larry. Well, yes, but the fact is what they did. Now, leading up, is they set the table for the most important individual who has ever played basketball in the world.
Bob, we'll get back to you in just a minute. PrizePicks is the best place to turn your sports knowledge into cash. With millions of members, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long with PrizePicks. How about the pennant race is heating up? So what do you think? You just pick more or less. I mean, it's real simple. Schwarber, is he going to have more or less than 3 RBIs in this game? Or Zach Wheeler more or less than 8 strikeouts in one of his starts? So PrizePicks puts their members first. So all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And when your picks hit, you can get your money in as quick as 15 minutes. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game.
Michael Jordan.
Right.
Michael Jordan was the transition person who tied things together for the NBA. But his co-conspirator was David Stern. If somebody who did not possess David Stern's vision and awareness and imagination and personality to put it all together to advance America on a global stage as well as a national stage, it wouldn't have happened the way it did. He knew what he had with Michael, and he figured it out. He also gets an assist, a major assist in 1992, or from Boris Stankovic, who wasn't even from FIBA, for getting us into the Dream Team status and into the world community in a way we had not been, to advance the cause of the sport. So all these MVPs we're getting now, they're all the result of what happened and with the Dream Team spreading the gospel the way they did, the way they were expected to, and they were asked to, and the way they did. Okay, but if we're going to back up for an individual who was the turning point in making it a global sport and putting it on the level where all the things that are happening monetarily are happening, it's Michael Jordan. Now, as over and above, this is a different argument than whether he's better than LeBron. That we'll have.
We're not talking about that. That's not the
We're
issue.
not talking about that.
We're not talking about
We're
that.
talking about the fact that Michael Jordan was.
Well, you know something, Bob, to dovetail off that, let's talk about this sort of limb of the Jordan story, and that's Nike.
Yes.
So now, if you watch the movie with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, which I really liked.
Sonny.
Sonny Vaccaro, where Nike is just this startup, right? And they're struggling. And I think they were, I don't even know was it soccer or tennis? Track and field. Track and field was their big thing. So Vaccaro goes down and he's able to sell, again, according to the movie, he's able to convince Mrs. Jordan, Michael Jordan's mother, that you go with us. And I can say who has a 20-year-old son, whose closet is full of sneakers and boxes and swooshes, that you have to equate. I agree with you, first of all, about Jordan, but when you combine it with the power of Nike and the marketing and what that became,
yeah.
I mean, there's never been anything like it with any other athlete. I mean, to the point where we all know Jordan made much more money off of Nike than playing hoop.
All true. We can throw a little hockey assist the Spike Lee in there for that one commercial,
Mars Blackman. No question. It's all about the
right?
shoes, Mike. It's about the
Oh, he
shoes.
gets so Stern gets the assist, and Spike Lee gets the hockey assist. He
Yeah.
gets the second assist.
But really, like you think about that, like if he had gone with Converse, which Larry and Magic had done,
Oh
and
yeah,
and everybody, but then when he went with Nike, man, that became a lifestyle, that became a culture,
yes,
that really changed things. And what I try to explain to people now, where we've come in sports, as I watch my son and now I watch my daughter who's in high school who loves lacrosse and is playing field hockey and and knows all of those college players and so forth. And especially with the marketing of the WNBA now, if you've seen, the WNBA has all these brand relationships with apparel for their athletes, that because of Michael Jordan, the player became a brand.
yep. And now they all want their brand, male,
Now,
female.
which
Caitlin
now
Clark,
that's another discussion.
signee.
Yeah, they all want their brand.
So,
Yeah,
good to go, Michael Jordan.
good stuff, Bob. Good stuff. Did you see the movie? You watched the movie.
Yeah,
Did you like it?
yeah. There were flaws. I can't remember. I had some nitpicks. There's always going to be nitpicks.
Right.
Yeah, and of course, anything had. Yeah, but Sonny Vaccaro, but that's some story.
Did you ever
All
meet
right.
him? You must have met him.
Yeah, I met him a couple of times. Yeah, I did. I had breakfast with him in New York once during a Big East tournament, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As advertised?
Yeah, oh, very flamboyant, bombastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Robert Ryan, thank you for checking in from the lovely state of Maine. You are brought to us by Prizepicks. All the best, my friend.
Thank you.
Powered by Gametime, the best place to get last-minute tickets to all of your favorite sporting events. And this coming Sunday, Patriots versus Raiders in Gillette Stadium. Behind us, $208 is the get-in price right now. That is the all-in price, one of the best features of the Gametime app. There are no fees included. You get your total up front with no surprises at checkout. So head over there right now, get into this Sunday's game. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Gametime. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create that account, use code CLNS for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Gametime app today.